There have been a lot of gangster films over the years, and truth is, there are an awful lot of mediocre and forgettable gangster films, all trying and failing to dethrone the genre king. Hang on, let me just check my notes. The Godfather. In 1990, a new challenger appeared. Christ no, not that one, I'm talking about Goodfellas. These days, Martin Scorsese is inextricably linked with crime dramas and gangsters. He started off with Boxcar Bertha, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, but he made other films like King of Comedy, After Hours, and The Last Temptation of Christ. But, a varied filmography aside, here was a guy who made a few gritty crime dramas in a long and varied filmography, yet was still known, or perhaps best appreciated, for his work on the seedier side of life. Like a porn star who writes beautiful poetry, but there'll always be a porn star. Scorsese had also directed Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which was eventually turned into a TV sitcom, Alice. So, in a small way, Martin Scorsese does have to bear some responsibility for Kiss My Grits. Author Nicholas Pileggi had written a book called Wise Guy, where he'd conducted extensive interviews with ex-gangster Henry Hill. The book intrigued Scorsese, and the two worked together on bashing out a script that is remarkably close to the text of the book, just with some extraneous material jettisoned. The movie couldn't be called Wise Guy, since that name had been used by a late 80s TV drama starring Ken Weil, and that guy from Breaking Bad, who makes everyone's head explode when they see him in an old movie or TV series. Hey, it's Mike. Look, it's Mike. OMFG, it's goddamn Mike. Warner Brothers bankrolled the film, now called Goodfellas.
We always called each other Goodfellas. Like you'd say to somebody, you're gonna like this guy, he's alright. He's a good fella, he's one of us.
Which chronicles the rise and fall of Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta. Henry Hill is a tough but charming rogue, a half-Italian, half-Irish kid who became a trusted gangster in the mafia family run by Paul Cicero. Hill's best friend and mentor is Jimmy Conway, who's a ruthless hijacker and master thief. Tagging along is their friend Tommy DeVito, a hot-headed gangster played by Joe Pesci. It's typecasting, but what are you gonna do? Pesci won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role in Goodfellas, so I guess that's that. Outside of the pure gangster stuff is Hill's family life with his wife Karen, played by Lorraine Bracco.
You got some nerve standing me up. Nobody does that to me. Who the hell do you think you are? Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot?
Karen is someone who didn't think they'd put up with Henry's shit, but clearly did, since it meant they had an easy life for the most part.
I wanted to go shopping. Can I get some money?
How much do you need?
Henry works his way up the ranks, goes to prison for a spell, and that just shows how corrupt the system was when the Goodfellas had to do their time. According to this film, everyone in this world is on the take. Cops, judges, prison guards, public officials of all sorts, which kind of explains how I have a speedboat license yet have never taken a speedboat license test. And everyone's a hustler and a thief, ready to steal from each other and, if necessary, kill each other. The final part of the film is Hill's downfall, a busy day in what would be his last as a gangster, with Hill trying to time preparation of an intricate family dinner alongside an arms deal and a drug smuggling operation, which comes a cropper. Karen manages to flush Henry's last stash of drugs down the toilet, and Henry is pissed off because he doesn't have the receipt and he can't return the drugs without a receipt unless he wants to incur a bullshit restocking fee. The plot sticks very closely to the events in the book, which are real events, just with the names of all but the Hills changed, presumably to avoid some mafia cliche of waking up with a fish head in your bed or sleeping with the horses. Actually, I may have mixed that up, but now that I say that, I can't get either the image or the smell out of my head.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
The film is anchored by narration from Henry Hill and occasionally Karen, which ties in with the way the pair narrate large portions of the book. This film doesn't just tell a story about some up-and-comer in the mob, but it describes in detail how their world works, how the scams work, how the wise guys balance wives and girlfriends. It's the ultimate My First Mafia book. Henry bets on fixed basketball games. Henry also sells drugs. Henry is married to Karen. Henry also has a girlfriend that he fucks behind Karen's back. Karen points a loaded gun at Henry's head. Jimmy sticks up delivery trucks. Billy Bats tells Tommy to get his shine box. Tommy whacks Billy Bats and buries the corpse. Henry is caught by the feds. Henry the fucking rat rats on his friends like a no-good fucking rat.
In prison, dinner was always a big thing. We had a pasta course, and then we had a meat or a fish.
Ray Liotta is great in the role. You believe his anger, his fear, his anxieties, and paranoia towards the end of the film. That lack of remorse apart from the getting caught part. That deep, nasally voice is burned into your head by the end, like a smiling brain parasite buying you drinks before it eats what's left of your brain.
But now the guy's gotta come up with Paulie's money every week, no matter what. Business bad? F you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? F you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? F you, pay me.
For whatever reason, Liotta's never been cast in anything with as much impact as Goodfellas, unless you count his voiceover work as Tommy Vercetti in Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
I'd bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend, and then I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to pay back the bookies.
Lorraine Bracco was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal of Karen Hill, a spunky outsider who's seduced by the glamour of her husband's lifestyle. Bracco, of course, would star in The Sopranos, where she turned down the role of Carmela Soprano in favour of the smaller Dr. Melfi role, since she'd already done the mobster's wife thing in Goodfellas.
Of course, when Friday night came around, Henry stood me up.
I feel terrible. I don't know where he is.
I gotta sneak this stuff in for you every week.
Deniro as the icy psychotic thief Jimmy is, well, he's Deniro, and this is one of his better performances in general. And he, of course, would go on to play other gangsters for Scorsese and others in Casino, The Irishman, and of course, the Analyze This Cinematic Universe.
What? Did you hear what I said? Don't buy anything, don't get anything, nothing big. Did you hear what I said? What's the matter with you?
Paul Sorvino as a quiet gangster who plays the role as a kindly uncle most of the time. If your kindly uncle was also a mob boss.
I don't need this heat. Understand that?
Uh-huh.
And you see anybody f***ing around with this shit, you're gonna tell me, right?
Yeah.
That means anybody.
But the true breakout star of Goodfellas was Joe Pesci.
What's the world coming to?
Tommy was a relatively minor player in the book, but his role is greatly enhanced here with a career-defining performance.
What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, you know. It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What?
Pesci wasn't a newcomer, having already appeared in Raging Bull a decade earlier, but after Goodfellas, Pesci was in everything from My Cousin Vinny to Home Alone to the Lethal Weapon films, and of course Casino and The Irishman.
I like this one. The dog, one dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way.
One is going east and the other one is going west, so what?
And this guy's saying, what do you want from me?
And of course, this being a movie made in the last 50 years, the film doesn't have the glamorous look of some of Scorsese's other films, but instead goes for a grittier, real look. People wear the fashions of the day, not cherry-picking the ones that might still look cool, but the really dated stuff that always looked trashy or ugly. And I don't know what the hell's up with these goddamn collars.
For a second, I thought I was dead, but when I heard all the noise, I knew they were cops. If they had been wise guys, I wouldn't have heard a thing.
There are tricky shots like the famous Steadicam shot where Liotta's narration introduces all the future corpses, and people talking into the camera, or pointing guns into the camera. Wanting to get the perfect shot, Scorsese went through 7 camera operators trying to get this one scene before the special effects people decided to instead load Pesci's guns with blanks.
When I was broke, I would go out and rob some more. We ran everything.
There's obviously some debate about the greatest gangster film of all time. A lot of people absolutely love Scarface, others love The Godfather or The Godfather Part II, and there are lots of fans for Casino. But Goodfellas is the one that keeps its head down and you always come back to.
French.
It's less operatic than Coppola's films, has fewer dodgy accents than Scarface. Without Goodfellas, The Sopranos would have looked very different. I mean, that series would have been harder to cast at any rate.
I mean, everybody else in the joint was doing real time, all mixed together, living like pigs. But we lived alone. I mean, we owned the joint.
Scorsese had won a lot of plaudits for Goodfellas after such a long break from the genre, but it would only be another 5 years for Scorsese's next gangster epic, set in and around Las Vegas's gambling establishments with hotels attached.
And now it's all over.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, or check out some of our other videos.